The Impulse 600 by Mesa Engineering is my amp of choice. It has great power and modern technology, but I was mainly sold on its soulful and incredible tone. I plugged into this amp at a Guitar Center in El Toro, California, and I set everything flat, and I was completely blown away by the depth and body of the sound. You can get a very articulate fingerstyle tone like Jocko or Jimmy Haslip, or a fat modern tone like Marcus Miller or Rick Farabracci, and really anything and everything in between. I get most of my sound from the 3-knob rotary controls. I set the bass at around 2 o'clock. The mids I usually bump up pretty high, and the treble I set at about 3 o'clock. I usually set the 5-band parametric pretty much flat with a bump at around 300 to 400 hertz, and sometimes I add a little bit at 120. I always use the compressor, and I set the threshold and the ratio at about 11 o'clock. I set my gain volume and solo control relative to the gig volume, but you can go from ultra clean to very furry by adjusting the gain relative to the main volume controls. And the foot switch is really killer for controlling tone, effects, compression, or bringing up the solo volume on the fly. On the back of the Impulse, you have a slave out to run multiple rigs, a great direct out with post and pre EQ switch with an output control. You also have an effects loop with a blend control and a tuner output. The cabs I use are the MESA Boogie Powerhouse 410 and 115. These cabs in combination with the Impulse 600 head are the perfect matchup. The construction is bulletproof and the cabs are pretty compact. I fit both of them into the back of my little Audi without a problem, and the casters make them super easy to roll in and out. On the back of these cabs you have a crossover and a pad for the horn, standard 1/4-inch phone plug connections, and also Neutrik inputs. I set all the controls to normal, but set the pad to -2 dB on the 115 cabinet to mellow out the tweeter a bit. All in all, this rig is a tone monster and is great for any gig or session. People are always amazed by the killer sound every time I plug in. I'd like to say thanks so much to Mesa for making a great amp and for allowing me to be an endorsee.